Everyone's talking about. Nightly News talks with one of Rick Rockwell's recent girlfriends. Coming up next on Nightly News.
We'll see you back here at 6. Here's Tom.
The crucial Michigan primary. The polls have closed. It's still too close to call. What next for Bush and McCain? In depth, inside a bizarre made-for-television marriage. What you don't know about who wants to marry a multimillionaire. The fleecing of America, Washington, D.C. Like this and like this. The heart of the nation's capital is a giant drain on your tax dollars. And our special series, Forgotten Heroes, tonight, a veteran of Korea on patriotism and sacrifice.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. Well, the polls have closed in Michigan tonight, and that pitch battle between George W. Bush and John McCain is now at a new level with a couple of stunning developments. John McCain is leading Bush, and he has Democrats and independents to thank for that. More than half the voters in this crossover primary are Democrats and independents in a GOP election. NBC's David Bloom is covering the Bush campaign, and David Gregory is with McCain. David Bloom, you begin, please.
Tom, this is nail-biting time for the Bush campaign tonight. Governor Bush has just finished speaking at what was supposed to be a victory rally here in Kansas City, a brief stop en route to California tonight. Instead, with so many independents and Democrats turning out for McCain in Michigan, Bush was forced to declare a moral victory of sorts, pointing to his support among Republicans in Michigan.
I have just come from the great state of Michigan. The election is too close to call there. It's too close to call. But let me tell you what's not close to call. What's not close to call is what the Republicans in the state of Michigan are going to say.
Bush, in his speech here tonight, also answered critics. Both Vice President Gore and Senator McCain have criticized Bush for a recent speech that he gave at Bob Jones University in South Carolina, an institution accused of espousing segregationist and anti-Catholic views. Bush answered those charges tonight.
Let me make it crystal clear to the good folks here and across America. I reject bigotry. I reject prejudice. I repudiate anti-Catholicism and racism.
Ad issue a phone message called a Catholic Voter Alert, reminding voters of Bush's appearance at Bob Jones University in South Carolina.
Bob Jones has made strong anti-Catholic statements, including calling the Pope the Antichrist and the Catholic Church a satanic cult. John McCain, a pro-life senator, has strongly criticized this anti-Catholic bigotry, while Governor Bush has stayed silent while gaining the support of Bob Jones University.
The McCain campaign claims it's not behind the calls, and instead points to the efforts of the Reverend Pat Robertson on Bush's behalf. The televangelist taped a telephone call to thousands of Christian Coalition members in Michigan, urging them to, quote, protect unborn babies and restore religious freedom by voting against John McCain.
A man who chose as his national campaign chairman a vicious bigot who wrote that conservative Christians in politics are anti-abortion zealots, homophobes, and would-be censors.
The inflammatory attacks point up how much is at stake in Michigan, but interestingly enough, Governor Bush will likely leave here tonight en route to California without knowing the results of the Michigan primary. He wants to get to California in time for the local news there. Of course, California holds the Super Tuesday primary on March 7th. But interestingly enough, Tom, Governor Bush has no phone aboard his plane. If he leaves here, he won't know the results of Michigan until he lands in California tonight, if it's even able to be called by then. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC David Bloom tonight. As for John McCain, he's back home in his state of Arizona, which is also holding a primary today. Whatever happens, he says, he's in this race to stay. And if he wins in Michigan, that's especially the case. NBC's David Gregory is covering the senator for us tonight. David?
Tom, a tense day and now tense evening for Senator McCain. He's been spending it at his house here in Phoenix all day, now having dinner with friends. They have been awaiting the returns from Michigan. His advisors tonight continue to be anxious, but now that the polls have closed, they are very encouraged. They have known all along that the way Michigan goes would in fact determine whether this campaign is revived or whether it spelled effectively the end of his chances of capturing this nomination. Even as the Arizona senator and his wife Cindy cast ballots in their home state's primary this morning, he was subdued, less talkative than normal, focused on Michigan.
Everything's do or die in this campaign. That's why we're having so much fun. Every day is do or die. We're a high wire act.
Hello, John. McCain, desperately trying to recover from his staggering loss in South Carolina, is again in Michigan relying on heavy voter turnout among independents and Democrats, a coalition of moderates he needs to counter Governor Bush's heavy support among conservative Republicans. Voters like Andy Mosier, who voted for McCain today in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
I don't trust George Bush. I don't know exactly why. I just don't trust him, and I think he lies too much.
Today, McCain did not answer questions about what his aides say is dirty campaigning by Bush's allies. But advisors concede those calls made by televangelist Pat Robertson have hurt the senator among Michigan conservatives. But tonight, it is precisely because this race is still too close to call in Michigan that top McCain advisors insist their man is still very much in this contest. Said one, we're off the mat. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's David Gregory tonight. What does all of this mean for the race for the Republican presidential nomination? What's ahead? NBC's Washington Bureau Chief Moderator of Meet the Press is Tim Russert. Tim, more than half the voters today in Michigan were independents and Democrats. What else do we know about them?
It tells us all, Tom. 49% were Republicans. They are voting for George W. Bush 3-1. 32% are independents, Tom. They're voting for John McCain 2-1. And the 18% who call themselves Democrats are voting for John McCain by a margin of 6-1. The internals look good for John McCain. That's what he was hoping for, a lot of non-Republicans. And Tom, look at this. 28% of the voters today who cast their ballots are first-time primary voters. That, too, was a goal of John McCain. That provides good news. Both candidates had good, favorable ratings. George Bush, 58 favorable, 39 unfavorable. John McCain, 65-29, a little bit better. More good news for John McCain.
Thanks very much, NBC's Tim Russert tonight, as the chaos in the Republican presidential nomination process continues from Michigan on to Super Tuesday on March 7th. Up next, honeymoon over. NBC News in depth. Millions of Americans watched as the millionaire married a stranger. But what's the real story?
This journey began with my desire to find love on a television show.
Was this real or simply exploitation? That's tonight's In Depth. And the policing of America, a city in shambles, eating up billions of tax dollars. It's your nation's capital.
Attention ladies in aisle 4. Getting the nutrition you'd like out of that cereal?
Yeah?
Because you'd need 4 boxes to get the folic acid in 1 box of total.
Big appetite.
Excuse me. 12 boxes to equal the zinc in total.
Need another coupon?
And you. Even 25 boxes couldn't equal the vitamin E in total.
Express Lane? I don't think so.
Only Total has 100% of 10 vitamins and minerals. No other leading cereal comes close.
We'll take the Total.
Total Raisin Bran, Total Cornflakes. What are you getting for breakfast?
Well?
I asked my doctor about Lipitor.
Ask your doctor what Lipitor can do for you, or call 1-888-LIPITOR to learn more. Lipitor.
Good evening, Batman.
Alfred.
I've stepped up safety in the Batmobile, sir.
Really?
Should a villain steal it, someone will track it. If your airbag goes off, an advisor will assist you. If you're stranded, satellites will help locate you.
And where have you put all these things?
Just press the OnStar button, sir.
Well done, Alfred.
My pleasure, sir.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
Why is it models always look 15?
Wrinkles? Talk to her in about 20 years.
At the Ponds Institute, we don't give you hype, just results. Our age-defying lotion is proven to visibly reduce fine lines by up to 77%. Age-defying lotion, no hype, just younger-looking skin.
Ask your doctor about Nasonex, the
prescription nasal allergy spray that's non-drowsy and won't keep you up at night, taken once a day for relief from nasal allergy worries indoors and out. Approved for children 3 years and up. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing. Nasonex, because the less to worry about, the better.
New tonight at 6. Wait until you see what was found underneath this brewery. Developers made a surprising discovery. We'll show you what it is tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first. Matt Zaffino, only on Northwest News Channel 8.
Breaking news now. NBC News projects that John McCain is the winner of the Michigan Republican presidential primary with a lot of help from Democrats and independents. He beats George Bush. George Bush was the clear winner among the Republican voters today, but in that crossover primary, independents and Democrats turned out for John McCain, who's also expected to win today in his home state of Arizona, which is also having a primary. That means that this race is more scrambled than ever. McCain now has won in New Hampshire, probably in Arizona and in Michigan, and George W. Bush has won in Iowa, also in South Carolina, and in Delaware, but he'll have to go on to Super Tuesday, the first Tuesday in March of this year, with a lot of the delegates that are at stake, more than a third that are needed for the nomination. Major political developments tonight. Now to NBC News in depth. Tonight, a marriage made for television, the public spectacle of women lining up to marry a total stranger. The television show, Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, attracted a huge viewing audience last week. On stage, there were 50 women who were prospective brides for one groom. According to the Fox television network, he's worth at least $2 million. But then reality. What's the real story? NBC's Chip Reed reporting tonight in depth.
Despite blockbuster ratings, today Fox Television pulls out of the marriage business. Self-proclaimed multimillionaire Rick Rockwell and nurse Darva Conger married on the show last week, with 23 million watching moments after meeting. But while on a honeymoon cruise, documents surfaced with surprising questions about the groom. Rockwell was ordered by a court 9 years ago to stay 100 yards away from a former fiancé who claimed he had thrown her around and threatened to kill her. Rockwell admits there was a restraining order, but denies the charges to Dateline NBC.
Did you throw her around?
No.
Did you threaten to kill her?
Have you ever gotten to the point where somebody pushed your buttons and you said, I'll kill you? That's what that was.
Fox claims it never knew about Rockwell's past, and in a statement today says it was up to the show's producers, Next Entertainment, to do the background investigation, and that Fox is now conducting its own review. Next says in a statement today it was not aware of the allegations against Rockwell, despite a background check by a reputable independent investigator. Next says it asked Rockwell if there was anything in his past that could embarrass the show. He said no. But private investigator Ian Citron says a routine background check would have turned up the information.
I cannot imagine how somebody would miss this at all. This is a very easy thing to find.
Some critics of Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire say the producers were so interested in ratings that investigating the participants took a back seat to creating a sensation. Paul Walton says he turned down an invitation to be the millionaire groom.
And they did try to entice me by saying you'll be the most popular guy in America. You'll be on every talk show. You'll even be on the cover of People magazine.
But Rick Rockwell, a former stand-up comedian, says that was not his motivation.
This journey began with my desire to find love on a television show.
But friends say Rockwell hungers for the spotlight, a former actor in low-budget movies, a man who played Skippy, a love-starved beach bum on local San Diego TV. Rockwell denies he was seeking publicity, but admits the TV marriage had an easy out.
Yes, there was an annulment agreement during the first 12 months.
And just hours before Rockwell taped the program, a former girlfriend says he called.
He said, don't think I haven't thought about what this will do for my career. He then said, Gina, I can get this annulled at any time.
One more question tonight about whether the American people saw what they thought they saw when the millionaire married the nurse on national television. Chip Reed, NBC News, Los Angeles.
You can see all of Josh Mankiewicz's interview with Rick Rockwell tonight on Dateline at 10 Eastern. I'll be right back.
I was about as miserable as a girl could be. Heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. And pain. My antacid didn't do the whole job. And Pepsid takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. It just plain worked better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
It really works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. It made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
Natural, real. Today's way to lose the gray. Quick, hassle-free. A look that really looks like me.
Thanks, Tim. It's Tom. Tom, when you're as busy as I am, you tend to forget things. When it comes to office supplies, you got to be on the ball. That's why I like Staples.com. They send me emails reminding me when to stock up on the supplies I need to keep my office humming. It makes things easy. My days of forgetting are behind me.
Want to give him 10 more minutes?
Order anything, anytime, anywhere with overnight delivery. Staples.com. Hey, you don't have to run out.
America's top critics are calling the Cider House Rules a stunning achievement. Time magazine calls it a tribute to the human spirit. And now it's nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. The Cider House Rules, rated PG-13, now playing.
Sorry I'm late. I was at my doctor, and... Oh, did you ask her about the things you've been reading about menopause? I did. She said...
It's important to consider menopause and the consequences of its associated estrogen loss.
You mean like hot flashes? Hot flashes and night sweats, but other things too, like vaginal dryness. It can interfere with intimacy.
And osteoporosis. I know that menopause increases our risk of fractures.
Dr. Hartman also said...
Studies show that menopause contributes to heart disease in women. Additional ongoing studies are investigating the connection between menopause and Alzheimer's disease, colon cancer, blindness, and tooth loss.
I had no idea. My doctor and I decided to stick with a program we've agreed on for years. I should speak to my doctor.
When considering menopause, consider the entire body of evidence. Speak to your doctor about what you can do to help protect your health during and after menopause.
For one night on one stage, meet the leaders of the digital revolution who are changing our world. The Summit in Silicon Valley, Sunday on MSNBC.
It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
One of the hot-button issues of any political year is your health care and medical mistakes. Now President Clinton is throwing a new proposal into the mix, one he says could take the danger out of going to the doctor. Here's NBC's Robert Hager.
Gail Devers, 3 times Olympic gold medalist. But earlier, a medical mistake almost ended her career. A severe thyroid problem she says was misdiagnosed for years.
All I know is what happened to me and what I know shouldn't have happened to me.
Today, the White House proposes to crack down against medical mistakes, botched prescriptions, diagnoses, or procedures that each year may cost as much as $29 billion and take a shocking 40 to 90,000 lives.
If we do the right things, we can dramatically reduce the times when the wrong drug is dispensed, a blood transfusion is mismatched, or a surgery goes awry.
The president proposes requiring the nation's 6,000 hospitals that receive Medicare money to establish their own programs to reduce errors. New federal rules to ensure that drugs don't have similar names or packages that can cause mix-ups. And urging all states to make hospitals publicly report errors that result in death or serious harm to a patient, making the system more accountable. The reports would list mistakes by hospitals, but would not name individual doctors, nurses, or patients. The government fears the new system wouldn't work if individual names were made public because hospitals might cover up to avoid lawsuits. And the American Medical Association opposes any reporting without more assurances of confidentiality. Its past president, Dr. Nancy Dickey.
A reporting system that doesn't give really important protections is, again, simply a call for further lawsuits.
But for patients like Gail Devers once wronged, any step to crack down is welcome news.
The most frustrating thing is to think or to know in your heart that there's something wrong with you and not be able to find an answer.
Now, to help patients and save lives, the White House sets a goal, a 50% reduction in medical mistakes in the next 5 years. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
For years, Washington, D.C., beyond the famous landmarks, has been a city that simply doesn't work. A sinkhole for your tax dollars, a fleecing of America. But now, new hope that things might finally be turning around in the capital city. Here's NBC's Lisa Myers.
This is the Washington, D.C. most of America sees. Majestic, inspiring. But for years now, there has been the other Washington. By all accounts, mismanaged, incompetent. A city that gets $2 billion a year in your tax dollars, much of it squandered. A perennial fleecing of America. Today, evidence the city is trying to make it better, but has a long way to go. An extraordinary taped message from the mayor to residents.
We have not done a good job plowing snow, picking up garbage, and cleaning alleys. As your mayor, I'm calling to tell you we will redouble our efforts.
Recently, 1/3 of garbage trucks broken down. The school system, too, remains a mess. Though the city spends $8,000 to educate each child, among the highest in the nation, school officials say 58% of 8th graders still perform below grade level on math and science tests.
The education and the human services areas are where the fleecing continues because those are the largest expenditures in the city's budget. And there are a lot of those dollars that are simply going down the sewer.
City bureaucrats also have trouble getting priorities straight. The city's child welfare agency fell millions of dollars behind in payments to foster parents. At the same time, it's spending $2 million on new furniture.
Completely unacceptable.
Answers like that are helping Mayor Anthony Williams get a 77% approval rating in a recent poll. He also has made real progress. Potholes once left for months, now often filled in 48 hours. And D.C.'s bloated workforce down from 58,000 to 33,000, with more to be cut. The mayor likens himself to an airline mechanic.
We're in a 747, and I'm out on the wing putting on a new engine while the plane's flying. Now, I think we're going to get it done, but it gets awful cold and windy and noisy, and it's pretty chaotic, but I think it's going to get done.
So what are taxpayers all over America to think about what they spend on the city of Washington?
People were not getting their money worth. You could make an argument as to whether they are or not today. But I can tell you that things are moving in the right direction.
Progress in a city where critics say fleecing the taxpayer has been a way of life. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
This was the first trading day on Wall Street since Friday's 295-point drop. It was another wild ride today, but when the closing bell sounded, the Dow had managed to reverse 3 days of losses. It was up 85 points. However, NASDAQ was down 30 points on the day. I'll be right back. Our special series, Forgotten Heroes.
So you want a PC with awesome power, but you don't want to clean out your savings, and you don't want to get off the couch. Well, sit back and call 1-800-GATEWAY. For an incredible $1,299, you can get a Gateway Select PC with a blazing 600 megahertz AMD Athlon processor, and we'll deliver it right to that place you call home. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days.
It helped lower my cholesterol 12 points. 9 points.
6 points.
10 points.
23 points.
How about that?
Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
It's uncanny.
Are we going to have a good time tonight?
Bye, Dad. Thanks for jumping in and watching Tyler.
Bye, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. There he goes.
If you knew you were going to be a babysitter today...
Oh, glad it wasn't my teeth.
You would have made sure you used Fixodent.
Come here. Oh, what do you do?
Hey, smart move. You did use Fixodent. So now you're ready.
I gotta wait.
For just about anything. For an even better fit. Fixodent and forget it.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Oh, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but fat-free Newtons are fruit and cake.
What's this? Dessert?
Newton's cobblers. Even more fruit and cake.
Oh, why didn't you bring them round?
And where would you have put them?
Come, Freddie.
Why is Lysol spray the best way to help protect your family? Because of what it does, kills the cold bug in seconds, and what it doesn't do, leave the sticky film Clorox spray does. That's why nothing beats Lysol.
That was a real scare with my overactive bladder. I was going so often. Then, bottom of the ninth, suddenly I had to go. But that time, I didn't think I'd make it.
That did it. I called my doctor.
You don't just have to accept overactive bladder. It's a medical condition, and doctors have treatments that can help.
Need a break?
Not right now.
Ask your doctor or call for information.
If you have overactive bladder, do what I did. Get help.
Tomorrow on Today, Body Alert. Our special series continues with your stomach and its aches and pains. Make sure you know which symptoms you can't ignore tomorrow on Today.
Another reason CNBC.com's portfolio tracker has been called the best on the web. Your stocks, ranked by analysts on CNBC.com. Profit from it.
It was 50 years ago this spring that America went to war. And if you ask many of today's young people, they'd likely say, what war? Well, it was the forgotten war. It was Korea, a cold and bitter place right after World War II. The rest of America was trying to enjoy peace. But Korea was almost as costly as Vietnam. And as NBC's Bob Faw tells us tonight, it produced forgotten heroes. But its lessons live on through them.
The conflict changed one of America's great writers. 48 years ago, West Point grad James Salter was a hotshot fighter pilot in Korea. At 25, determined to prove something to the rest of the 335th Squadron and the 4th Fighter Group, and to himself.
You wanted to be an ace. To be one, I mean, one would give anything.
You were not anything until you had fought, right? And for 6 months, high above the Yalu River, he risked everything. Flying 100 missions in an F-86, up near the sun, he wrote, where the air is burning cold. Salter drew blood shooting down one enemy plane, disabling another. He won medals and citations. Driven, he said, not just by duty, but by desire, like another pilot he admired.
Saint-Exupéry wrote very succinctly, fighters don't fight, they murder. That is your job. It would be phony to say, oh, you have moments of hesitation about it. Not for a second. All you're thinking about is, can I get more shots in there? So the exhilaration is tremendous.
The terror, the joy for Salter, nothing before, nothing since would even come close.
It was a great voyage. The voyage probably of my life.
But the great voyage came up short. American soldiers did not return to ticker tape parades. This memorial was built years later. Korea became our forgotten war, and James Salter's victories, hard-fought and precious, they were forgotten too.
It was victory we longed for and imagined. No man on earth was rich enough to buy it, and it was worth nothing. In the end, it was worth nothing at all.
War, he concluded, forges character in a way that ordinary life cannot, but he realized combat was only one measure, and a temporary one at best.
That is what is so beautiful and paradoxical about it. To the individuals, it is still means a great deal. But to the world at large, not much.
He flew another 13 years, then became a writer, and long after Korea, the writer would conclude what the pilot never glimpsed, that all is foolish except honor, love, and what little is known by the heart. Bob Faw, NBC News, Aspen, Colorado.
Nightly news for this Tuesday. Election results throughout the night on MSNBC on cable. Don't forget Dateline tonight at 10, 9 Central. We'll have election updates then, too. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. From KGW, where the news comes first, this is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6.
Right now, Highway 26 is still shut down tonight after a head-on accident. Wreckage is scattered all over the road, designated as a safety corridor. Hello, I'm Carol Jensen.
And I'm Tracy Berry. Thanks for being with us. This is our breaking story tonight. The accident happened east of Sandy. 3 cars are involved and several people are hospitalized tonight. News Channel 8's John Becker is live at